Okay, so today we are going to be actually interviewing Dr. Rick Strassman, the author of the book DMT, The Spirit Molecule. I've just finished digesting his second work, DMT and the Soul of Prophecy, which is going to be what we're going over in our podcast today, although you're going to have to wait a few days because that podcast is not going to come out today, but this video will come out on Thursday, and then the podcast will come out tomorrow or Monday. I'll let you know in tomorrow's vlog about the podcast. So let's dive in with Rick. Boom, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. I have a very exciting guest for you today. Somewhat of a rock star in my world, Dr. Rick Strassman, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today, guys? Whoa, so we just had a fantastic podcast with Dr. Rick Strassman, the author of DMT, The Spirit Molecule. That will be coming out Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your eyes and ears on that. We did have a little bit of audio technical difficulties, so bear with us as you watch that one. It'll be out Monday morning. I wanted to dive in and talk about tribalism and some of the biological and neurochemical relationships of how we've survived for a long period of time. Because as we grow and as we've been growing as a society, we've reached these difficulties with tribalism. Understanding groupthink is in comparison with the individual, and the effects on society as these societies eventually meet, and cultures and ideologies and scientific endeavors kind of start to overlap. And this is a very important time because our species grew at such a fast pace into this technical age. Like, I remember thinking how cool a ham radio might be. The really large tower that you would need to be able to talk maybe like 100 miles away. And now I live in the jungle and I have, boom, 2 internet pieces on the top and fiber optics direct to my house. I have 50 megabits a second up and downstream. As a culture, we've advanced from an area in the blink of an eye that has been extremely profound. And I don't think that while this process is happening, we really kind of stop to take in what that means for this type of tribal thinking and some of the consequences, as well as, much more importantly, the exciting aspects of discovering our global tribe. Now, I think in highlighted moments like this, all these different countries are going about how they think they should best resolve their issues, right? Some big mistakes are made and we're all learning together. In reality, we have to look at it as all a miracle. This is all pretty exciting, like the opportunity that crisis brings to find a new way to really strive and succeed in life. We were living in a zombie economy, and from a financial standpoint, there are many reasons for this. The major one being is that the governments are printing money and inflating and debasing the currency at a ridiculously rapid rate. But if we remove the storyline, how boring would life be? These obstacles, I think, these crises, these are the moments when we get to shine. We get to focus on how we make this story work to everyone's advantage. The internet has brought this fantastic global communication sensibility, and the deflationary nature of technology has put in the tools in my hand right now where I can walk around the jungle, I can upload to a platform where thousands of people watch a video, and this will soon be accessible to everyone. Globally, the world will start to come online, the ability to access information, and this is critical that we understand how necessary all the moving parts and pieces are, that the jungle is made up of all of the variety of life, right? We don't want a monoculture of any kind. Like, okay, here's a prime example of a monoculture that was meant for proper sustainability but inevitably ends up failing. And this is the idea behind decentralization, or I think more importantly, localization. right? Okay, so we're going through and we're trying to create something that's as robust as possible, or as anti-fragile as possible. Oh, it's through variety, right? So it's not just one type of plant that I would want to plant in my garden. I'm going to want as many as possible. So here's a great example, right? Not too long ago, we decided, oh, instead of digging for oil, we can use biodiesel. So there's a massive amount of palm plantations here in Costa Rica where we grow palm, and they take the palm, they extract the oil, and they use it as B5 biodiesel, which effectively allows you to run these big trucks, such as mine, on a sustainable, renewable resource to some degree or another. But then we have a downstream effect and negativity of something called building a monoculture, right? Where there's not enough diversity in the soil, that it starts to break down some of the basic fundamentals of being able to, that land being fertile in the first place. We create all these problems with the indigenous cultures, as we cut down property. There's a lot of downstream effects for how quickly this society has grown. Us reiterating this artisanal story of building, I think, better relationships with plants and the culture of consciousness. These new emerging ideas where we can now study psychedelics. It's becoming a mainstream focus. Consciousness is on the tippy top of the table for everyone's benchmark for how things start to get done. I think more and more in the future, we're going to see this level of content in consciousness move forward. Maybe not, let's say, I don't even think that it's changing. I think it's just subtly a fact of the nature of reality. I think this story here, this crisis, is representing the opportunity for those who love playing in this playground. Like, it's dangerous to go surfing, it's dangerous to get in the car and go driving, right? But this is the first obstacle where it's been like a cultural idea of, okay, hey, we all need to think somewhat critically about a virus that we don't really understand. It's a big unknown. We've grown our society and an economy to a point where we could tip it over if we lose X number of people. These are all very complicated questions, but we're all pretty damn good at surviving. We've made it tens, if not hundreds of thousands of years by working together and building something that hopefully functions for the future generations to come. So as much as sometimes I think it's heavy, there's a lot of negativity in the world, it's a time to be excited and optimistic, and remain skeptical and pessimistic when we're going over some of this. There's a lot of negative data, right? The universe loves to eat itself. It's constantly just trying to digest itself, right? Like one thing eating another thing. And like here, okay, like this thing here, I want that, yeah. Life eating life. Anyways, I've been getting more excited about these moments to try to find the opportunity for success, for network, for communication, for data, for logical thinking, and for emotional space. Take the time to meditate, to breathe, to go outside, to remember how much of a miracle it is to be alive at all. Enjoy yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Tea with the Arcane Bear. If you happen to like this content, give us this thumbs up. Piro, our dog here, he would love it if you gave us a thumbs up. It would really help us out. Wouldn't it, Piro? Piro, would it help us out if everyone liked and commented on the video? Just keep liking and commenting on all the videos so we can convince YouTube that what we produce is worthwhile. I have a great time doing it. I'm thankful for all of you that enjoyed the content as it throws and flows through such an eclectic set of thoughts and processes. I'm always grateful for your guys' support. Let's see with the Arcane Bear. We'll see you again on the other side.